Yeah, any questions in relation to bias? It is all on my YouTube channel. You know, many people already understand it completely. And just head to the kind of not completed mentorship on YouTube and then go to the episode which talks purely on bias. And I really go into detail on it, you know. Even the latest video, I do show you my bias. So we start on the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, the 15 and the 5, and you get a result for each one. So it's an overview of using higher time frame and intraday bias, which comes together. Alright, cool. So a new channel and category has just been created inside of the Discord, which is backtesting. Okay. Alright. Okay, so price is just put in a bullish order block there, so that'll be a clean point in price to have a shift in market structure lower, inversing that bullish order block. So following a bearish bias, that's exactly what we're going to be looking for. Alright, cool. So basically what's just been implemented inside of the Discord is a backtesting category, which backtesting ICT Fnatic, that top channel there is purely, I'm going to be adding the previous sessions that we've done and I'm going to pin it at the top so you have access to the private links which we've done in the past, which was only one. We are hosting one tomorrow on Saturday. Okay, and there is a chat below which is for you guys to message in, and this is a backtesting channel for those of you that whenever you're backtesting or if you want to ask for advice on your backtesting and maybe you want to backtest with other people, okay, or get answers on a specific position that you're looking for, that is all for this channel here. Okay, so backtesting VIP only, that's for all you guys to message inside of, get questions answered by each other whilst you guys backtest in your own time. And then when we backtest as a group, as a whole, we will go live and then I will post the full live stream link, etc. in the upper channel, which you can see there. So that is the first upgrade. I can delete this from the notes. Okay, so price is still continuing to trade higher, which is protecting us from taking any sort of shorts. So when an opportunity for shorts presents itself, then that is something that we'd be looking for. But we're currently creating bullish order blocks, trading out of them, drawing higher. So when we see that shift in market structure, we would be interested in looking to take it. Okay, so quick question for the member Maverick. Maverick brother, where you at? Drop a message in the chat ASAP. Where is he? Where's Maverick when you need him? I'm gonna have to find Maverick in the general chat. Just got to find one long ass message and I will find Maverick. He's here somewhere. Oh, is that a message? No. There he is. Okay, so Maverick. Maverick. Did I spell it right? Maverick. Yeah, I did. Alright, cool. XXX underscore Maverick. Okay. Alright, cool. So what I've just done, as price slowly retraces lower, we want to see a shift lower below that bullish order block. Okay. Still respecting that bullish order block, which you can see there. So we had a shift in market structure, very slight non-aggressive shift on NQ, and same goes for ES as well. And you can see there that we're still respecting this bullish order block. Okay, so 5's bullish. One hour's bullish, so our bias is currently bullish. See that 1 hour bearish gap got inversed. 4-hour unfilled bearish gap resting above, likely the draw as of now for price to trade back into the unfilled 4-hour. So our overall bias as of now currently sits as bullish. Why is the 5 bullish? Well, it's trading out of a 5-minute bullish gap. So we traded up into the bearish gap, trades lower into the 5-minute bullish gap. So it's bullish towards the next bearish gap, which would lie at 952. So it's currently a bullish bias. So nothing as of yet. So if that 5 closes and inverses the bullish gap, it would be a bearish bias. Yeah, so it's bearish on the 5. This is a bullish order block, which we've just traded into. So the 5 just shifted bearish. I'm confused on the order block. So we had a down close candle which got engulfed by this up close candle. This is a bullish order block. Price trades into it. So the likely scenario as of now is that price retrades back towards the high and heads towards London as the overall draw. Set of lower time frame equal highs, trading out a bullish order block with a bullish bias. And an unfilled 4-hour, that's the likely draw, and we'd likely see NQ or ES, likely NQ trade towards London first. Okay. So Maverick, who does the daily breakdowns, the detailed AI, but not AI, is kind of a mixture of AI and his own all put together, has now been made his own category in his own channel to upload, and he is able to send a message but no one else inside of that. So it's called the Maverick Breakdown and Maverick Daily Review. So DR stands for Daily Review, and I will put this category just above the crypto section. So Maverick, if you can see that, or even if you're watching the stream, you have access to the daily review. Okay, so price obviously trades back higher towards the high, as I said, and that was obviously the probable scenario. So it's just identifying and understanding price action. So you guys requested it, and you said that you wanted to see Maverick's daily breakdowns, which are quite detailed. So he's got his own channel now, which he will post his daily reviews and uploads inside of that channel. And then we have the crypto channel, real estate channel, which I'm going to add to because we have more information to add to it. 0% tax, that's still something that is getting worked on. I know it's taking a bit of time, but it'll be worth it. The superhuman guide, I need to add to it because there's a couple other things that I'm now taking. The backtesting channel, that's the new one. So that's obviously a new channel that's just been created, and you guys have access to that. The official chat, so questions, that's just the questions area, okay, and then general chat, that's where you guys send your trading related, chat. And then daily result, we post our wins and our losses inside of that group, so it doesn't matter if you made, $5,000 or you lost $10,000, okay? It all gets posted inside of there, so I like to see people's losses and wins inside of that channel. Certificates, obviously, for your payouts and your accounts getting funded, you post all your certificates in there. The AM prep, where we prep each morning for the AM session, and then we have risk management eval, funded, prop firms, scaling plan, account management, and the exact checklist guide to what I personally use for an entry in live price action. So we are adding more channels, okay, which are being added. 5-minute time frame you can see is still bearish, trades up into the bearish gap, and this bullish gap's been inverse, so it's still bearish, and we're bearish on the 5 until 24,859. On the 15-minute, as you can see, we're still bearish on the 15. Hourly time frame, as you can see, is currently bullish, still bullish from the inverse. 4-hour time frame is now bearish. Okay, so we can change that 4-hour as we trade into the unfilled 4-hour. Okay, and daily time frame remains the same, which relatively does not change at all. 1 sec, let me just find this. Okay, so that's a nice solid bearish bias there. Okay, so after that manipulation, we'd like to either see price retake the high and continue towards London, which is fine, just wouldn't take a position. For a position, we'd like to see a shift lower as of now. Okay, so Maverick breakdown channel is done. Can delete this. Private video link channel, Discord, done. Alright, so we have 2 new channels coming to the Discord. One which isn't really that helpful and one which is pretty helpful. So the first channel, which is not that helpful but also good for insight, is purchases and flexing. And then the second channel, which is actually insightful, is a competition channel. So you guys are going to be competing with each other. And basically, as the months go by, you are going to post your current status, and I'm going to position it to where we can see like a portfolio tracker. Okay, so I'm going to find a specific website or somewhere where people can register and everyone can view each other. So if you fuck up and blow your accounts, or you blow your evals or funded accounts, and we see you go from 3 million capital to 1 million, everyone's going to see. Okay, so this is really going to put people back in their place to not take dumb decisions. So we're inversing a little bullish order block here. We'll see if it gets inverse and shifts lower. So everyone is going to have a portfolio tracker, okay, and it's going to be a competition, and essentially the first person towards, say, a certain milestone would win the challenge, essentially. And whatever they win, I don't know, I still need to decide. So this is all something that's getting created at the moment. Poor JP. Yeah, JP was obviously, you know, JP, if you're there, brother, I know yesterday you had a day which was slightly stressful. 1 second, JP, we're getting a shift lower market structure here. Okay, inversing this bullish order block. This is nice. Shift on ES. Okay. Alright. We're going to be looking for shorts here, guys. We're going to be taking a short off this bearish gap. Stop placement at previous high. So it'll be a 56 handle stop. So your 30 handle position size, half that position size, 2.4 towards that low. Let me see if this one's closer. No, it's not. 2.4. Okay, so I'm taking this with half, which would be 14 contracts. And I'll be looking for a short. 1 second. Yeah, that's the gap. Okay, so I will not be looking for a lower fair value gap there, because this would mean that the stop placement is absolutely enormous. So I can only take a position off this upper gap, and I will only take the position off a tap on NQ. This low here, which you can see, would be an invalidation low. Which we took on ES. Okay, so no position as of yet. Now, in price action standpoint, it very much easily, this trade is not a takeable trade now, but this here, right, this bearish gap price action would very easily trade off this and draw lower. Okay, stop placement from this gap is enormous. It would run over 80 points. So an entry off here is the only possible entry that we can get. This low is the invalidation low, already got taken on ES. Okay, so we shifted below this low. This low's completely fine. We shifted below this low, inversing this bullish order block. So when we take a low like this is not price invalidating the model. It's still shifting below a bullish PD ray. So it's actually a bearish confluence. Okay, but when we actually end up taking this low, which is completely outside of price shifting market structure, which we've seen on ES, then that invalidates the position. We're almost out of macro. Well, we're out of macro right now. Okay, so we're going to be waiting now for the second AM. So there's nothing to take in this first AM. Okay, so we got second AM. A lot of ICT traders, they'd be all over shorts right now. We just can't take that position. So 10.45. So that's our original entry there, which you can see. It's outside of macro from that entry standpoint, and also got invalidated from ES. Okay, so that's why we're looking at both assets. So second day in macro, we're going to look for a opportunity and see whether price then trades towards London, and then we can look for shorts from that point onwards. Why no trade at 10.02? The bias was bullish. So the 1 hour inverse. Okay, so this competition channel is going to be very, very interesting, because I will see the progress myself to you guys and where you're currently at. And if someone fucks up, I'm going to message you, and we're gonna have to sort it out. I'm gonna call you out on the live stream. No, I won't actually. I will. Well, no, I will do that. No, I will. So we'll be monitoring everyone's portfolio, and basically the way that it's gonna go is that every single one of you guys, the way that we're gonna manage portfolio. I need to think on it. I need to think. Give me 15 minutes to think on it, and I'll have a solution. Alright, cool. So next upgrade to the channel. So obviously we added backtesting. We've added the Maverick section, which is only for Maverick and his daily breakdowns. And then we've just added the flexing channel, which as of now, not many of you guys can flex, but you will be flexing, okay? So that channel is for the future. As of now, in this month, we're currently down 2.4R. So there is no flexing this month. Last month you'd be flexing as an 8R profit. This month you're definitely not flexing unless you're in Bitcoin shorts. Okay, alright, so the next channel, this is getting added. This one is for competition. P-E-T-I-T-I, competition. Did I spell that right? T-I-T-I-O-N. Yeah. And this competition channel is to not get you a M4 or M5 competition. This is to get you a LaFerrari, okay? So, competition. We shall see the weak-minded very much come out of this channel. This is going to be a very, very good and interesting. Okay, so we've just created the competition channel. Alright, so that category has now been added and implemented. Where's the best place to stay for a month in Thailand? Well, it depends. What are you going for, who are you going with, and what do you like? 1 second, let me just turn down this AC because I'm gonna freeze to death. Trading chill. Okay, well, I suggest... Well, if you said chill... let me decide. Well, there's 3 spots. I would say either go to Bali, Phuket, or Pattaya. Now, do you ride bikes? Do you ride big bikes, or no? Either way, you can get a bike in both Phuket and Pattaya. Phuket's got a lot of areas that you can get a bike. Yeah, to be honest, I recommend that you either go to Phuket or Pattaya and do some research on it. Phuket's got one of the best fighting Muay Thai gyms in the whole of Thailand, so that might be an incentive for you to go there. You can also rent a big bike in both Pattaya and in also Phuket. They both have lovely beaches. I'd say the beach, okay, is probably best in Phuket. So yeah. Me and Jams fly to Thailand in 1 month. Come on, brother. Well, I mean, I'll see you there. I've went to Dubai, and I prefer Thailand than Dubai. I've been to Miami. I prefer Thailand over Miami. I prefer it over LA. You know, the top spots in the US, New York's a homeless shelter. LA's full of drugs. Miami's full of flexing gurus. Dubai is a newly built and just a city for business. In Thailand, you get it all. Everything. You get decent weather, okay, and apart from rainy season, it does rain, but I don't mind it. It's still hot, you know, it always sits above 30, always. Celsius, by the way. So, we have the best saunas, steam rooms, massage. I don't get the final, you know, the other part of the massage. I don't get that, you know, with women, normal women. But they actually have the best massage, the best multi training gyms, some of the best actual gyms as well. The best supplements, where I can go to the supplement store, buy whatever I want. Pharmacy, I can buy anything. I don't need to go to the doctor and get a note, nothing. In first world places, you always need a note from the doctor. I walk in, I say I want this. Okay, bye, done. I can ride my bike however I want. The police don't care. If I speak to the police, I give them £100, £10, £20, whatever. They're gone. So, it is truly perfect. Koh Samui is dead. Koh Samui is shit. Absolute dog shit. It's full of... As soon as you pull up, the first thing that you're going to see is that you're pulling up a propeller plane, okay? And then you're getting transported at the airport on a bus made out of wood. And then you go from there with your suitcase with greasy, unwashed, unshowered travellers with backpacks on their back, okay? So if you want to be surrounded by greasy travellers with backpacks, go to Koh Samui. There's not much going on down there. You know, it is so down bad to the point where one night I went out of the villa, okay, up in the hill, and I went out for a meal. I came out of the meal place and someone took... How down bad have you got to be for this? Someone actually stole my JBL speaker. A JBL speaker. That's how down bad people are in Samui, these backpack travellers. So, I do not recommend that. Yeah, it's either Pattaya or Phuket. And whilst you're in Pattaya, the benefit of being Pattaya is that you can just get a van, okay? I get a van from Pattaya, Phuket. No, Pattaya to Bangkok. Takes about an hour and a half, okay? Proper comfy. It's a whole bed in the back of the van, pretty much. The chair's made out of leather and it just goes all the way back. So, you're chilling. And you can go to the main city in Bangkok, where I buy my cigars. Oh yeah, by the way, in the US, you ain't smoking no Cuban cigars. I'm smoking Cubans every day, so I get my Cubans from Bangkok as well. So yeah. No, I'm in Pattaya. I'm personally in Pattaya, yes. So that first position, which you can see there, would have got us to be stopped out. Okay, so a lot of iced tea traders must have taken a short there. And we didn't take it because ES invalidated that low, and entry either way was outside of macro. So we're seeing price still trade towards London highs. Bangkok's one of the best cities in the world. Yeah, you can argue that to some degree. Yeah, I mean, shortly as well, I'm gonna be booking myself a whole new set of teeth. And where am I getting that done? I'm getting it done in Thailand, in Bangkok. It is I think they're top 5 or top 10 actual dentist pharmacy, not pharmacy, kind of dentist in the world for doing it, you know. So I'm not getting no Turkish teeth either, you know. So these are custom made. Each tooth is getting customly made, so I don't have a lisp after. Yeah, it's veneers. I'm not getting composite bonding. I'm getting veneers, but custom veneers, not factory made. There's a difference, you know. When you see people in, you know, what do you call it, Ibiza with their composite veneers, and it looks like a block of cheese, is because they got factory made, bulk made teeth, not for their mouth. Okay, it's as close as possible to their mouth structure, but it's not quite, and they end up with a lisp. It almost looks like they have a set of grills. It sounds like they've got grills in their mouth, but it's just their teeth, you know. So if they wore grills, they wouldn't even be able to speak. Do you recommend living there or trading for a month? I always recommend that you find a place and stay there. I've done this bouncing around and going country to country, and it really is not something that you want to do with a locked in routine. If you want to get bigger in the gym, see progress, and follow a diet plan and take supplements, okay, and be growing other aspects of your life, you can't be packing suitcases and flying and changing time zones 24/7. It's not good for your health, because you're always going to be out of sync with time zone. You're never going to know the area. People are never going to know who you are, and eventually you'll probably just end up getting robbed, to be honest. So it's always best that you build the area around you and you pull up at the same places, so you waste no time. And I chose that I like trading in the evenings. I'm not going to pick Australia because it's just not been appealing to me, to be honest, and the time zone is already too late. I believe the market open is like 11 p.m. It's not for me. Yeah, Thailand might be a long term for me, potentially. 10:30 p.m. open in Australia. See, that for me is slightly too late. Okay, hello ChatGPT, mate.
Hey there, what's up? Let's dive in. Just let me know what you need and we'll
Okay,
get
mate.
started.
Yeah, so 9:30 a.m. New York local time. What is that in Australia for the market open?
Sure thing. So if it's 9:30 a.m. in New York, That's the U.S. Eastern Time Zone. Depending on where you
Oh,
are.
just hurry up, mate. Do it on the beach, the popular beach.
Absolutely, I got you. Let's do it quick. So if we pick, say, Sydney time, since that's one of the popular spots, 9:30 a.m. New York is generally going to be around 1:30 or 2:30 a.m.
Oh my
next
god.
day.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, mate. So 1:30 a.m. in Sydney, which is the capital, right, of Australia, if I believe so. They'd really just never go straight to the point. Just give me the answer. I asked you for the answer, okay? I need to change my ChatGPT settings more straight to the point. And 1:30 a.m. That is so late. That's unbelievable. I've changed my ChatGPT settings in the background to be a straight mentor or whatever. Can't remember what I did. I need to tell her to stop wasting time, but I also need to tell her to change her voice as well. Yours is Indian. I was looking at BlackRock's balance sheet on crypto. It was quite interesting to see, but they're down significantly today anyway. They're down 13% on this one position. They're holding around 60 million since I last checked. Not much. I think that's actually, I don't know if it was 60 million, it was nothing. But they was holding SPX 6900 USD coin, which fluctuates, very volatile coin. I don't even know why they was holding it, to be honest. I don't know why BlackRock would be holding it, but it's currently down around further 25% since they was holding it, so they've not been successful with that. Their Bitcoin position sits shy of $100 billion and also very close behind the one and only Nakamoto, whatever his bloody name is. Alright, 10:40 a.m. We're going to be looking at bias here. I'm going to start on the daily actually. Nothing. Let me remove this. And remove that. Nothing on the daily. 4-hour time frame. Still bearish. Okay, trading into the unfilled 4-hour bearish gap now as well. And just shy of trading into the bearish 4-hour order block as well. Okay. 4 hours shall remain the same. 1 hour time frame is neutral. It inversed the bearish gap, took the high, which neutralized that bias there. 15-minute time frame. It's bearish. Nothing has changed on the 15. 5-minute bias. It's obviously just closed, hasn't it? So we had a bearish gap. It got inversed. Stood the high. So we got a neutral 5 here, and the 5 only goes bearish once we reach 113. Okay, so this gives us a 2 out of 2 bearish bias here, going into the second day in macro, a sweep of London highs. Okay, so we are just sat on our third step, looking for a shift lower in market structure, both assets. So let's see whether we get that shift. How's the language barrier in Thailand? Well, I mean, they all speak pretty good English here. It's not the worst. I would just say that you can use Google Translate, but I don't really speak to many people on a daily basis. So when I go to the gym, I've already pre-ordered 15 protein shakes. So I just look at the lady and I nod at her, and she's already making it for me as I walk out of the gym, you know? So it's just a double scoop vanilla protein shake. So apart from going to the gym, boxing training, which he speaks good English, the restaurants, I relatively order pretty much all of my meals, apart from breakfast and potentially dinner. Sometimes I'll go out, but when it comes to, you know, eating a dinner, it is usually during the trading times. So what I like to do is, in the third macro, I have my meal on order, eat it, and then sleep. My account balance is 52,186. How many micros shall I trade? I continue to pass today with a normal 1 to 2R. Okay. So just follow the eval. Well, is that an eval, yeah? If that's an evaluation, then follow the evaluation risk management sheet, and that's exactly what I'd do. Yes, okay. Yeah, just continue to follow the same risk management for eval in the Discord, and you'll pass that in no time. It's very close to being passed. I'm sure that was actually a couple ticks off passing, but November's put it into slight drawdown. You're probably, what, $200 off, $100 off, and then it's ticked back slightly. That 52.1, is that from October? Or was that just from previous trades that you took? Did you ever consider looking at weekly profile? What do you mean weekly profile? What does that mean? So currently in the second layer macro right now, we've factored a bullish order block in for price, and if we shift below this low, inversing that bullish order block, then that'll be something with a bearish SMT on ES. Whether that's going to hold or not, obviously as of now, likely not, and that's what we'd like to see. Yeah, what is weekly profile? What is a weekly profile? I don't know what that is. You talking about our P&L statements, which I post in the P&L channel? I mean, there's a weekly result, so you guys can see how much I'm up or down, and also our weekly result, and as far as positions that we took, whether it was a winning or a losing position, what time, and whether it was long or short. You know, that's all in the P&L section. Who will be the first to post in the flexing channel, I wonder? Well, obviously, when we close out, well, maybe October, maybe someone was on their live account or a few ticks from a payout, and October sent them towards a payout. I mean, trading a funded account from last month would have reached you a 2.5-ish K balance, around $2,000 profit. So whether you was already in a little bit of profit on your funded, then like you've seen last month, a few people reached a payout and ticked them over. This month, no one's going to be flexing so far. $2.3K balance from October 5th. That's perfect. So basically, at that balance, your point to take a payout is from 2.5 to 3K. That's your first payout. So Lewis, if you don't already have the rest of the capital, such as Take Profit, My Funded Futures, and Alpha Futures, if you don't have those accounts already, then what you'd do is once your account hits a 3k profit, depending on how many accounts you have, whether you have 1 or 5, you want to take 1k from each one of those accounts or that one account and apply that whole 1k, or 1 times 5, so 5k, to get in take profit, my funded and alpha, and running them in the background using Trade Syncer, and you'll be straight up to 10k per trade. Scaling plan will get you to 20. Still following a bearish SMT on ES from Asia. Yo, I missed it. What is the PvP channel? So the PvP is peer versus peer. So everyone inside of this group is in competition with each other. Okay, so basically it's a channel that is, I'm still figuring out the best way to track everyone's portfolio. I'm going to see if there's a website. I'm going to check it right now. And basically we're going to be tracking people's portfolios on evals and funded accounts, and there will be obviously a leaderboard, so there will be a winner and losers, okay? And you'd only become a loser, no one's a loser, okay, unless you trade outside the model and you full port your accounts. Then you will become number 1 loser, and we have number 1 winners, okay? So they follow their model. Okay. So it'll basically section people in this Discord from the lower, essentially the lower class people. No, that sounds bad. Well, no, let's just say it. Lower class people, and then the people who are absolutely killing it in the space, and they're the bosses. Okay, so that is exactly, we got the brokies, and then we got the people making serious money, and that's how we separate inside of the competition PvP section. So if you go from being a boss to a brokey in one day, we know exactly what you have done. Okay, you've just blown your accounts, and everyone will know. So this is keeping, what's the word, understand your own actions. I don't know the word for it, but understand your own actions and having self accountability for your decisions. Okay. Hello ChatGPT. How can I, as people inside of the Discord, want to basically, with their accounts that they have, so let's say they have evaluation accounts and funded accounts, or even a live account as well, how is it possible, what is the best route, or is there a website that I can use to put everyone together so it can automatically track their portfolio? Now that's not going to be possible because they can't log into TopStepX, they can't log into Tradeovate and have an automatic tracker. They're going to have to update it themselves. So is it best that I tell them that they update it on the weekly or the daily? And should it be a text channel? Of what I'm thinking is that they put their name, etc., their current stack of accounts, and then I would use, basically I want you to find me an AI software that can link into the Discord, or I can not link it in the Discord. Actually, no. I will use you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use you. So what I would do, you know what? I don't even need your help. I know what I'm doing. I'm not even using ChatGPT. I don't need ChatGPT's help. Okay, so sweep of Asia highs, bearish SMT on ES. And a shift lower slightly on NQ, but there is no bullish order block here. Okay, So there is no possible model. So as far as the PvP channel, the way that is going to be ran is that I'm going to add everyone's name and a full template of what you would have to fill in. When you guys see your name, okay, basically you're going to fill it out and update it every day, or if we take a position, you're going to update it upon that. So every week, let's say on the Friday, you're going to update it, and then there's going to be a leaderboard, okay? So the leaderboard is going to say your current position in the Discord. So whether you are the absolute boss of the Discord and you're making more money than I am, which some people already are, okay, or you're, you know, working your way up and you are getting the helping hand from people above, then you would see yourself on the leaderboard. Okay, and you have to be totally honest. You can't sit there and edit your section to say that you have 5 million in capital, but really you don't even have an account. Okay, so you have to be completely honest, and if you lose capital, you must change it to say that I have this capital. It would say 350k funded, and then there'll be a part which says bracket, top step, apex, etc. And you must edit that capital if it is a mistake made and blown, okay? And you will see yourself drop in the leaderboard from your own mistake. So this is what we will have. Can I build a website for this? I mean, how easy is it to build a website? I mean, what we're going to do is run it inside of the Discord. Yo, chill, I'm Indian. Brother, you don't really look Indian in that profile photo though. Joe Wobby, are you actually Indian? Oh, you are? Oh, okay. MNQ trader took a 3.8k payout. That would obviously be from last month. That wouldn't be from this month. So still no bullish order block here for price. This gap is not something that we can take. Yes, it's a shift lower market structure, gap on both, bearish buy, a sweeper buy side. We just have no breaker or mitigation block paired with this gap. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Even if we shift lower market structure here, this is absolutely fine. We have a bearish order block, so in a bearish case scenario, I would like to see price and expect it to trade out of this bearish order block lower. That's what I would like to see. Putting price into a shift in market structure below this low, inversing the bullish order block. I don't want it to trade out of the bullish order block back towards the high. Okay, and even if we do, then we can still look for the model. But ideally, I want it to trade out of this bearish order block, shift lower. Invalidation for the position is this low. So this low would invalidate the position here. So if we get shift lower in market structure here, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why that low? Because it's the first low that is completely outside of price shifting market structure. This low here is not a shift in market structure. That would be the first low that is completely outside of this area, if that makes sense. Hence why this would be a draw. If we took a position around shorts, we'd use this low as a point to trail stops. So we're still respecting the bearish order block as of now, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to look at anticipating price action. It can exactly do what it wants. So right now it's not formed a model for us. Okay. So we've avoided two positions for shorts here, which you can see. This one, because it did not have the inverse order block, and the one earlier as well, which was the short in this one here. So the entry inside of macro here, but ES took the first objective, hence why we didn't take the position, stop placement, and then outside of macro. But the actual reason, the first reason, regardless of whether it was in or outside of macro, was that ES took first objective. Still respecting that, obviously, so we can still see a shift. How is this an order block? So we have a up close, and I've marked it of this candle here, an up close candle engulfed by the next down close candle, which you can see here, okay? And this would be a bearish order block. Same goes for this to be a bullish order block. So if I was to mark this bullish order block, a down close candle engulfed by this up close, price to shift, inversing the bullish order block, is what we'd like to see. That's what we want to see as far as the model. So 5 minute is currently bullish. And the 15 minute is bearish. One hour is still neutral, and the 4 hour is still bearish. So it's still a bearish bias. Okay, updated. I meant that we were looking for shorts, obviously. How is a bearish order block relevant in this scenario? So I was just monitoring price action and what I'd like to see. And we formed the bullish order block. We traded out of it up into the bearish order block. And I said, I would like to see price trade out of the bearish order block and then shift market structure lower. So just basically guiding you guys through what currently is happening with price action and what's likely to happen. Following a bearish bias, trading out of a bearish order block here is likely that it's going to draw lower, okay? And I want to see a shift, which is currently happening on ES, slightly on NQ. If we close below here, this would be an inverse of this bearish order block. After not taking out a short-term high, this would then form into a mitigation block. If we form a bearish gap, I would then look to take a short off the bearish gap. So no need to rush it, guys, okay? People always love to rush through the model and they stress themselves for no reason. So the 15, okay, would almost go bullish in a second. It's the 5 closed. Let me see this closure. The 5 is now, yeah, bullish 5, bullish 15. Okay, so this is changing our bias here. Yeah, so we've got a bullish intraday. So this has given us now a bullish bias, which means we wouldn't take this short. This short here is a textbook short, but not corresponding with our bias. So intraday is now bullish, higher time frames bearish. So it gives us a likely scenario that this would get ran through towards the high. I'll remove London highs off the table there. But yeah, that is a mitigation block. So price created the bullish order block, traded high, didn't take out a short-term high, then inverse the order block, making it a mitigation. But I'm going to delete it just so it doesn't tempt you guys to think this is a trade to take. Okay. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. I mean, we're not a roulette table on when your fingers are sweaty. It means that you should put it on red, you know. So we're not if, buts and maybes. We're just looking at the model. So, you know, don't stress it. There's no point stressing it. Bitcoin at 96.3. Around 60,000 in profit right now. Bitcoin shorts. Alright guys, so that's the end of the second day of macro. So obviously we are waiting for the lunch macro now. Okay. So this position, this short, okay, as you can see, is slowly trading back towards the high. It wasn't valid because our bias was bullish at time of entry, and price is meeting the intraday draw at the moment towards the high. Okay. So we're going to wait for 11:45, 12:15, monitor that macro, and see if we do get our opportunity for shorts that we've been looking for. I'll chat to you guys in a sec. And the PvP channel in the Discord is currently being worked on and shall be completed shortly, which I'm going to create a full template, and then you guys will edit your current accounts that you're trading. So it would say, let's say a random name. So let's say Johnny. Okay, it would say Johnny, and then it would say 350k capital, bracket, prop firm, ... apex, top step, take profit, end of bracket, and then it would say like a progress tracker, and it would be current expectations / targets. Okay, and then you would put 1 million in capital. Okay, and then we would see and have a progress tracker board of how people are doing towards their current progress, and then also a full, you know, leaderboard. So the people with the most amount of capital, who have made the most amount of profit that month, would be on the leaderboard. And leaderboard's only going to be set from capital limits, okay? And then we'd also have another leaderboard for total P&L, okay? So obviously on a month which 11 out of 12 close out on the profit, then you would see yourself at either the top of the leaderboard or the bottom, okay? And if you're at the bottom, you know what work that you have to do, okay? So let's get the action going and less talking, okay? So I'll speak to you guys in a sec. Okay guys, welcome to the second day of macro. And looking at price action right now, we're trading out of a 5-minute bullish gap, so that's bullish. The 15's now flipped bullish as well, so it was neutral, now it's bullish. So we have an intraday bullish scenario here, and the hourly is still neutral and the 4 hours bearish. Okay, so there wouldn't be a position for shorts here. Even though we've swept buy side, we've shifted on both assets, or almost shifted on ES, not quite shifted market structure just yet. Does not mean that we'd be looking for a short right now, because intraday is currently bullish, which put our bias as bullish. Yes, lunch macro. I meant lunch macro, not second AM, my bad. So what I've done in between the second and the lunch macro is I've edited the peer versus peer channel, okay, and I've also created a full data sheet that is basically including every single one of you guys' names inside of the Discord, and if it doesn't already include the name, then drop a text in the general chat, put at Milo, add my name, and I'll make sure it's added. So the leaderboard, I'm going to give you guys 24 hours to edit it. It will go live in 15 minutes inside of the PvP, and I want you guys to edit with your current capital, and you guys, all you have to do is just edit and fill it out. So you put your, basically you'll see the way it's set out, but you're going to put your current eval capital, your current funded capital, your current monthly P&L, so how much you're up and down, accumulative across all of your accounts. Okay, so this is also going to include both funded. Wait, that's just come to a answer there. With P&L, this only will come towards your funded accounts. So when you answer as far as P&L, your P&L which you put is only from what you had on a funded account. So you do not add your eval P&L on your funded account. Okay, I don't want to be in competition with nobody, but it's a really good idea for guys who need that. It's not a problem. I would say 80 or 90% or even 95% of you guys want to be in this competition and see where you're sat at, because if you've got testosterone in your system, you're going to want to be the best. Okay, and that's what we're here for. So basically once it goes live with the data sheet, you guys will get 24 hours to fill it out. For those of you that didn't fill it out, then it would just, your name would be deleted. And if you want me to add your name, just put at Milo if you can't see your name. Those dogs outside are going absolutely bonkers right now. They've lost their minds. They're not stopped barking. Maybe they took a short of that first presented gap. They're losing it. The reason why we didn't take a short, guys, is because our intraday bias is bullish. 5's bullish, 15's bullish. So the likely scenario is that we do continue back to these relative equal highs, lower time frame here. Okay, and then potentially from this point we can then look for shorts, but this is not a valid short to take. So far today, no positions. Milo, do you use both NQ and ES to determine bias? No. So I only use NQ to determine bias, and I use ES as only one confluence for bias, and that is ES to meet the drawn liquidity. For example, if I'm looking on which one we have a bias, 15. So on the 15 minute as of now, actually the 5 minute is going to be a little easier to see here. And we're trading up a 5 minute bullish gap. The draw on the 5 minute is higher towards the next high or bearish gap. If we look to the left, you can see we would have a bearish gap from this point at 248. Now to meet the draw, we don't use the gap on the 5 minute on ES as a draw, okay, only on NQ for imbalances, unless it's unfilled. If we have an unfilled 5 like this, or an unfilled imbalance, then we can take it as a bias. But as far as meeting the draw, so with the high, if this high gets taken on ES but not on NQ, and it was a bullish bias, then it would just neutralize it. So ES doesn't form a bias for NQ, but it will neutralize an already existing bias. So for example, we're bullish on the 5 towards the high. If ES takes the high before NQ, then it would neutralize the 5. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you do look at that imbalance on the 5 here, you will shortly see when we trade into it how the 5 will change. So if NQ isn't in a gap and ES taps it, no. So we don't look at that as far as imbalances. If ES trades out of an imbalance, the same one as NQ, or NQ hasn't traded out of it, if it's already previously been filled, we don't actually take it as a bias from ES standpoint. We only take it as a bias if, for example, let's say on the hourly time frame, we have an unfilled hourly bearish gap on both assets. If NQ doesn't trade into the hourly bearish gap, but ES does, we can take that as a bearish bias on NQ. because that's a SMT between imbalances. You get SMTs at the highs and imbalances as well. Okay, so you get SMTs unfilled imbalances and at the highs. So right now we have a bearish SMT on NQ because ES took the short-term high and NQ didn't. Hence why we have the relative equal on the lower time frame here. PSP candles. What is PSP candles? I don't even know what that is. Never heard of that in my life. Preson swing point. No, I'm not actually aware of that. That's not something I've looked into. The shutdown is over, yeah. Alright, yes guys, so this does conclude our week here, okay? No positions were taken today. I seen one person comment on the Instagram to say that the bias this week has been obviously not following the bias. The market has traded against our bias in some cases, but it's not meaning that we've taken a position following our bias in all cases, as it hasn't been presented, okay? So this week, yes, we have closed out as a loss, minus 1.4 R this week. Last week we closed minus 1 R. So this basically puts us minus 2.4 R on the month, which is one position from essentially just shy of break even. And we have another 2 weeks of November that we are going to be monitoring price to see what positions that is presented during that time period there. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream today and found it insightful, even though we didn't take any positions to close off the week. The backtesting session and also the PvP section inside of this Discord is going to be uploaded within the next 30 minutes to hour, the PvP. So I want you guys to fill your name in and everything inside of there. You will see your name as what it says on Discord. So your Discord name will be presented there and it's in alphabetical order. So backtesting tomorrow shall be hosted at a time which I will post inside of the Discord. So I will update you guys on what time we will be backtesting tomorrow. It will be around the New York Open, around that time, okay? And I look forward to seeing you guys then. Have a great rest of your evening.